Alright, YouTube, so this is my channel's Mandela effect. So I named my channel after this book, and I put a spin on it to make it religious, so I wasn't just copywriting. But I did use a picture, but since I have access to the book, it's not copywriting because it's my book. I bought it, so I own the cover art. Yeah. So that's the author, and the book's name is Heir Apparent, and yes, hair and not heir apparent. So a lot of people have been telling me ever since I got my channel that, oh, you're saying hair wrong. It's not hair apparent, it's heir apparent. So back in middle school, I was in either 7th or 8th grade. I think I was in 8th grade, but I'm not quite sure. It was either 7th or 8th. So I was in an English lit class, and we were either doing like reading a paper in class or a book, and it was about medieval, and it came up hair, and the kid that was reading it said heir, heir to the throne, and the teacher was like, no, it's English, the H isn't silent, it's hair to the throne. And so then she's like, alright, so I guess I gotta teach everybody the threes of our English language. So there's 2, 2, and 2. So T-O, T-O-O, T-W-O. And then there's hair, hair, and hair, which is H-A-R-E, a rabbit, hair, H-A-R-E. Hair as in like hair on your head, H-A-I-R. And then there's hair, which is heir to the throne, or, you know, like somebody who's going to inherit something. So it's H-E-I-R. So everybody's like, oh no, that's not right. I hear everybody saying it's heir. And she says, well, it's not Spanish, it's English. The H isn't silent. And it caused a whole big discussion and everything about it. But I remember clearly she's like, the real way to say it is hair. So then I started my channel, and I hadn't really had that come up in conversation since middle school. And everybody was telling me it was wrong. So then I'm like, alright, well, I know for sure that it's pronounced hair apparent. And every time I say hair apparent, because I have long hair, everyone thinks that, oh, your YouTube name is hair apparent because you have long hair. No, not H-A-I-R, H-E-I-R. So hair apparent, heir to the throne. So yeah, it really started making me mad because everybody was correcting me when I shouldn't have been corrected. It's not heir apparent because English language isn't, the H is not silent. So it's hair apparent. So I started doing research into it, and I started going back and watching some documentaries, history documentaries about medieval era and that I've already seen before. And I'm 100% sure that when I watched these when I was a kid, and I've watched them multiple times each because I was really into the medieval era and swordsmanship and that. So I'm 100% sure that they said hair every single time that they said hair to the throne, or we're talking about hair, you know, like that. And now when I go back to watch these same documentaries, they've completely changed, and they all say heir, like A-I-R. And yeah, so that's wrong because it's English language, it's hair. So the Mandela effect has changed our English language to be incorrect. Now everybody's using it incorrectly. It's hair, not heir. So if you ever have the chance to say it, please say it correctly. It's hair apparent, not heir apparent. Doesn't matter about the Mandela effect. that is the correct way to say it, is heir apparent, because of the threes in the English language: hair, hair, and hair. H-E-I-R, H-A-R-E, and H-A-I-R. So don't forget that. It's heir apparent. Alright, that's my channel name, Mandela Effect. And yeah, so this book, the backstory is I was in 5th grade, and it was either 2001 or 2002 when I bought this. And yeah, so I went into a Scholastic. I'm pretty sure it says Scholastic on it too. No, it doesn't. Well, it did on the packaging that it came in, because it has like a plastic thing over it, but I'm pretty sure, or something like that. It might have just been on the box, but yeah, it was a Scholastic book, which means it's for education and approved for educational purposes. But it says Magic Carpet Books. I'm not quite sure exactly what that is, but yeah, this book was a high school rated to college, like advanced high school. You know how they have like advanced high school / college reading? This was one of them. So I was looking at all the books, and I had some money that my parents had given me to buy a book from the Scholastic book fair. So I'm walking around, and I don't see anything, absolutely nothing that I liked that caught my eye. I was about to leave, and I'm like, oh, this is a waste of time. There isn't even anything worth reading in here. So I was about to leave, and on the table that they had set up to where you pay, and then the lady was sitting behind there, and they had a whole bunch of boxes just sitting there, and they were closed. So I opened one up, and she didn't say anything at first. So I was like, alright, so these must just be books that I can buy that are sitting now. So I looked through them, and then I saw this book, and as soon as I saw the cover, I saw Heir, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I turned it over and read it, and I'm like, oh, that's super cool. I want to buy this. So I went and took it to the lady that was like maybe 3 steps away from me, because that's how close the book was to where she had her lockbox with the money in it. Yeah, I walked up to her, and she's like, oh, that's not for sale. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not for sale? It's in a box that says for sale, and it has a price on it and everything, and a price tag. I'm pretty sure it had a price tag on it, but I took it off because I didn't want to leave the price tag on it. But I'm pretty sure it was cheaper than $6. It says $6 for the book, but I think, if I remember correctly, I paid $3.99 because it was on sale, because they couldn't sell it. Nobody would buy it. They had taken it to like 10 different, I think she said 10 different Scholastic book fairs, and no one would buy it. So they had like a sell on it to try and sell it, but they had just taken it to the 10th one, and nobody had bought it. So it was sitting in the box, and she's like, oh, that's just our moving box. We're not actually selling that at this book fair. And I was like, well, it's here, and it's a book, and I want to read it. I'm going to buy it. And she's like, no, you can't buy it. You're too young to read that. That's a high school level book, and high school / college level rated book. You're not going to be able to understand it or read it, and your parents aren't going to be pissed at you that you wasted your money. And I says, look, I don't want to buy anything else in this entire book fair. I want to buy this book. And I says, I don't care if I can't read it right now. I'll wait and read it when I get into middle school. And she's like, middle school? No. I'm like, I'm already reading middle school level. She's like, really? And I'm like, yes, I'm already reading middle school level. And she's like, oh, alright, well, I guess I'll let you buy it. And so I bought it. And I had to talk her into it too. I'm like, it's really cheap. My parents gave me $20 to spend. I can buy it. So I bought this, and I bought like I think it was airplane eraser. like an eraser that was shaped like an airplane, but it was a waste of money because it just fell apart as I was using it. It broke on me. I was like, garbage. And then I bought some pencils some pencils with the plastic wrapped around them and the designs on them. I thought they were cool looking, so I got them. Yeah, and then this book. So I spent like under $10, and I got this book and my pencils and the eraser. So my parents were happy that I didn't spend all that, and I got a book. And I told them, I was like, well, I had to talk the lady into it because she didn't want to sell it to me because it's high school level. And they're like, oh, it's alright, you can just read it whenever you can. So I actually tried to read this when I was in 5th grade. But a lot of the concepts in that I didn't understand because of it being high school level, and I had to use a dictionary to read it. Like, I had a dictionary there with me so that I could look up words and stuff and figure out what it was. So it was like very laborious or whatever, labor intensive. Yeah, it was labor intensive to read the book, but I didn't really care. So yeah, that's the author's full name. On the side it doesn't say his full name, but yeah, that's his full name. So yeah, when I eventually made it to 7th grade, I read it again, and I understood it, and it was good, and I really liked it. So I ended up reading this book like I think 5 to 7 times in my entire life. I even read it in high school too because I really liked this book. I think I might have actually have read it in college when I was 19, but yeah. So I've been meaning to get back into this. So it's going to be in my Hurricane Dorian grab bag. So if I need some entertainment, I'm going to be reading this. But if not, then I'll get around to reading it within a year or two. Yeah, and I'll read it a couple times in that because I really like this book. So I'm going to keep it with me, and I'll read it a good, I don't know, like 30 times or more before I actually die, hopefully. Because it's a really good book. If you've never read it, go ahead and buy you a copy. They're really cheap. You can get them on Amazon right now. I looked it up, and they're really cheap. So I mean, you're not going to lose your money, even if you don't like the book, because it's cheap. So yeah, it's a really good author, and it's a really good storyline. So I'll read it to you, even though in my Hurricane grab bag video, which nobody has viewed, I read the back of it. So yeah, and told the story behind it, even though this is a Mandela effect video. But yeah, still. In the virtual reality game, Heir Apparent, there are way too many ways to get killed, and Ginny seems to be finding them all, unless she can get the magic ring, find the stolen treasure, answer the door's dumb riddles, impress the head-chopping statue, charm the army of ghosts, fend off the barbarians, and defeat the man-eating dragon. She'll never win, and if she doesn't win, she will die for real this time. And then it says, consistently entertaining, Publishers Weekly, a testament to Vande Valadi's storytelling magic. The Horn Book, a stylish tale that addresses both fantasy, gaming, and censorship. The New York Times Book Review. Plausible, suspenseful, hilarious, it's riveting reading for experienced gamers and Thoros, Tyros, Thoros, alike. I'm not quite sure what that word is. Hold on, wait. Let me ask Google. Too soon. Thoros. No, I'm gonna have to spell it out. Too soon. Tyros. Come on, Tyros. Thorough. A beginner or novice. Oh, alright. An experienced person. I have never heard of that word before. And I don't remember that word being on here either. That's strange. Maybe that's another Mandela effect. But yeah. And I'm pretty good with words. And I used to read dictionaries and stuff to get good with words. And I've never seen that word before. It's cinnamon? Or, I can't. Whatever. Yeah, it's a different word for inexperienced people. Alright, so gamers and inexperienced people alike. Kirkus review, starred review. So they must have been like the best reviewers, but it's Kirkus. Kirkus, I'm guessing. A junior library guide selection, an Anne Spencer Lindenberg Prize for Best Children's Fantasy Novel, a New York Public Literary Book for the Teenage. So, yeah, it's for teenage, and I bought this when I was 10. So, yeah. A New York Public Library 100 titles for reading and sharing. Alright, so... anything else? Yeah, printed in the United States of America. United States of America. So hard to buy something that's actually made in America. It's made in America. Yeah. So if you guys want, pick up a copy, and then you can have a part of my channel, and also part of Mandela Effect. Alright. See you.